This channel is supported by my online fishing courses, and you can learn more and get significant discounts at saltstrong.com/Skinner. I'll have links to all of the gear in the video description. Okay, first drop of the 2020 New York sea bass season. You know what? I don't care much for sea bass when I'm fluke fishing out in Montauk and they're interfering with those efforts and tearing through my gulps. However, they are great eating. They're a lot of fun to catch, especially if you can diamond jig them or jig them any particular way. And so I'm out here. I'm out on the Eastern Sound, about 6 miles out over varied structure, around 70, 80 feet of water. And hey, just a slow bounce off the bottom. These are aggressive fish. This usually can help get the larger ones. It's a 4-ounce diamond jig. I've got a little teaser up above that, and I'm going to see. Alright, that's an okay start. He grabbed a Z-Man jerk shad on a plain hook up above the diamond jig. And so these need to be 15 inches, New York. You can only keep 3. If I have to measure it, I'm not going to keep it. I want some larger ones. Okay, just a little idea of what the bottom is. It's irregular. It's up and down, and you can kind of maybe see on the left-hand side of the screen there some stuff along the bottom. That's fish. So that's what I'm trying to do, is find some irregular structure. This is an area, large area. It's probably a couple miles of when the tide is moving. You see all kinds of rips, and if you go over that with your fish finder, you'll see some interesting bottom. And if you can see some fish over that and run jigs through them, certainly you could put squid down. Boy, you put squid down, those little sea bass get all over that stuff. So yeah, I prefer to try and jig them. Okay, so what I've done here is I've switched over to my fluke gear because I'm kind of curious as to whether there's fluke here. I've already I caught a porgy. I've got a couple sea bass, I have a couple smaller ones. Yeah, it certainly could be fluke out here as well. So I've got my fluke rig out, 4-ounce bucktail, and yeah, I know from fishing Montauk, the sea bass will gladly grab this. There we go. Wow, that's a nice one. That's what I came out here for. Alright, so he's got something in his mouth there. Let's go see what he's got. And that's, I think that's calico crab. It's a crab of some sort. And yeah, well, that's, they eat crabs, clams, all kinds of things down there. So yeah, bucktail bouncing along the bottom. That's definitely something they're going to hop on. Yeah, this is a real nice one. So definitely that will be one of my 3 keepers. All right, I'm going to go back to the diamond jig. I'm just kind of alternating back and forth to see what works best. And like I said, I do want to have the fluke rig down occasionally just to see if there's any fluke. All right, he grabbed a gulp grub. No surprise there. And yeah, this one's probably keeper size, but you know, there is not a lot of meat on a 15-inch sea bass. Hey, check out that barge and being towed by a tugboat. Kind of reduced visibility today. It's why you don't want to be out here in a fog. This is out in those shipping lanes. Would not want to get between the tug and the barge for sure. Yeah, there's a fair number of scattered boats kind of in his path, so he's laying on the horn. And I'm going to actually make a move out of here because I'm getting too many smalls. All right, I looked on the Navionics chart on my plotter and found where there's kind of like a shoal area, spot that comes up in the 50s, drops down in the 70s. So I'm going to work on that for a bit. And my battery cut out, but hey, beauty, really nice one. So yeah, all right, I get to keep one more. So when you're in the middle of the tide here, you're going to be going over 2 miles an hour on the current. So being on the slower ends of the tides, I'm more like between 1 and 2 miles an hour, about 1.5 right now. All right, another real nice one. Yeah, so as I do with the fluke, I bleed these fish. So I'm going to make sure I give this guy a good cut across the gills, get the blood out, and then get this fish on ice because they really are excellent eating fish. So yeah, that's a real good one. And that's my limit fish. I'm going to make just one more drift right now because I'm kind of curious about whether they're hitting the diamond jigs in this particular spot. And the breeze has come up, so I definitely don't want to be hanging around too long here because I've got a ride back in. But I can't stay anyway because I'm not going to play catch and release on these. I've got my limit, but I am kind of curious as to whether they're going to respond to jigs here. All right, unlike those other fish you saw before, this one grabbed the diamond jig as opposed to the teaser. So you have just a hunk of metal, and if the current's really ripping, you can just do away with that teaser, and they will hit the plain metal jig. I did change the hook on that diamond jig. Instead of the big striper hook that it comes with, I've got a smaller VMC, basically the size that I would use for fluke. So those are sharp, they're strong, it's a good sea bass hook. So I'm just going to finish this drift out with the diamond jig, and then I'm going to head in and take a couple of drifts over some fluke grounds and see if there's any fluke on the inside. Okay, good. Another one on the middle, and for sure this one's a keeper. But you know, I'm done, and that's it. I'm going to release this guy, and then I'm going to take a ride. I don't know, about 4 miles or so, maybe 5, and try for fluke for a little bit anyway. All right, I've got a shoal here going from like 45 up to 30, back down to 45 again, just working across it. All right, that one was really short. They need to be 19 inches. Hey, I've got the drift sock out. That wind's really blowing offshore. But that drift sock will keep me at about 3 ounces here, so it's okay. Okay, a little better, but still a short. And I made one more drift after this and picked up a sea bass, and then the wind really got ridiculous, so I headed for the dock. All right, and this is me looking for my license. I usually keep it in my camera bag. I also have one in my wallet, thankfully, so I'm not finding it here. Okay, so this is a bay constable who already walked by and said he's going to check me. These are really good guys. They are my town's bay constables, and they do a lot of things in the town, shellfish, finfish. They help the police when there's bad situations. These guys work their tails off. So what I really like about this stop is that he's checking me at the dock. He's not interrupting my fishing. This is really smart. I mean, he's got his truck parked out of sight. Before you know it, he's there asking you for fish. And yeah, that's just fine. So yeah, he's going to check me out. Yeah, this is probably one.
How have you been?
Good.
How was the winter?
Wonderful. I've been in I retired from the day job, so now I'm in Florida all winter.
I know, I saw.
So it's awesome.
You get no sympathy from me as far as that goes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. All right, these are no measure guys here.
Okay.
I keep them in the bag so I don't screw my cooler up.
All right, very good.
All right, good.
Yep, very good. Seems like everybody has limited it out.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's good fishing. We only have 32 hours.
I was a little nervous because, you know, all we've seen so far is porgies and sea robins, but...
Thanks for checking.
Hey.